is just a phenomenon like we have not seen in this sport.
Shohei Ohtani is pitching tonight, and you do not want to miss it.
He's historically great. He's transcendent great. He is to Japan what Messi is to Argentina.
With Shohei Ohtani, it's unbelievable what we're seeing.
Right from the moment his father taught him how to hold a bat, Ohtani has been on the path of greatness. But as much as the two-time unanimous MVP has drawn comparisons to Babe Ruth, he's also been subject to criticism, with some thinking he's overrated. Not to mention the nagging injuries he's had to suffer, which makes you ask, just how good is Ohtani actually? To answer that question, we have to go east. No, not California or the East Coast. Further east, across the Pacific Ocean, to the land of the rising sun and rising stars, because that's exactly what Shohei Ohtani was growing up to be. Born on the 5th of July 1994 in Mizusawa, Iwate Prefecture in Japan, it seemed baseball had chosen Ohtani before he could even walk, because before his parents met, they were athletes. His dad made sure Ohtani was ahead of his peers in the game, and if that wasn't enough, he trained him in everything about the game, from pitching to batting to outfielding. So, Ohtani could excel anywhere he found himself on the diamond. Except, he would choose to excel everywhere except the diamond. In elementary school, it's easy to mistake a hardworking kid for a talented fluke, but talent could only take Ohtani as far. And in high school, Ohtani still had that dog in him. To be fair, he always has, but high school was really when he showed the world he wasn't here to play. Attending Hanamaki Higashi High School, he played for them at the Summer Koshien. No, it's not an anime tournament. It's more like the Japanese version of the NCAA March Madness. At Hanamaki, Ohtani, along with future MLB pitcher Yusei Kikuchi, took their school to the finals of the 09 Spring National High School Baseball Invitational. But more impressively was the fact that as a 15-year-old, he was pitching fastballs at speeds over 93 miles an hour, or 157 kilometers an hour. This is a kid who's just entering puberty, and he's already pitching way above high school baseball players in the US and even college athletes. This teenager from Oshu City was already an anime-level OP. The crazy thing is that this wasn't even his fastest pitch in high school. A few years later, en route to the final of the 2012 Summer Koshien, Ohtani threw a pitch which at the time was the fastest in Japanese high school history, clocking in at 99 miles per hour. There's no way any teenager his age is getting a hit off of that kind of pitch. Almost a decade would pass as Rory Sasaki would best it narrowly with a speed of 101 miles per hour in 2019. But back in 2012, no teenager in the world was pitching as fast as Ohtani, and even the fastest pitch in the MLB wasn't that far ahead from his. And do you really think the MLB wouldn't catch the wind on a high schooler pitching like a pro? Of course they would. And you know, for us Americans, when we want something, there isn't much we wouldn't do for it. MLB teams were leaving US high schools and colleges to come to speak to a kid in Japan. The Red Sox and Dodgers were hot on Ohtani's tail, trying to lure him to America. This is what he wanted, to join the MLB as a teenager. He prophesied this for himself when he started high school. He even went as far as telling Japanese teams not to draft him. I know it sounds cocky and arrogant, but hey, this is a kid pitching like he's in the big leagues already. It's not arrogance, he just knew his worth. But his greatest desire would have been his greatest demise. In a twist of events, the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters drafted him first overall in the 2012 MPB drafts. Wait, wasn't he scheduled to join the MLB straight out of high school? Yes, but this Japanese team has a reputation for going against the grain, and they were willing to do what no one else was, and that's play Ohtani to his strength. Coming out of high school, Ohtani was an incredible pitcher, no doubt, but he was also an above-average batter. At the 2012 Under-18 Baseball World Championship, Ohtani had the second highest batting average with 324 and strikeouts as a pitcher with 16. At the professional level, specialization is key. The best batters don't pitch, and the best pitchers, well, no one's counting on their batting skills to win games. Ohtani's dexterity and potential as a two-way player was going unnoticed, and if he had signed for an MLB team, he would have to forego either batting or pitching. But with the Nippon Ham Fighters, they were willing to take the risk and let him do pitch and bat and develop his skills at both. Even though they weren't entirely convinced that he was that good, you can't blame him, because the last time a player was successful as both a pitcher and batter, the TV wasn't invented yet. At the end of the day, Ohtani wanted stardom more than money, but not at the expense of being the best he possibly could. He already proved to the world that he could be the best pitcher, but he also wanted them to know that he was as lethal on the plate as he was on the mound. So with a max rookie contract and the jersey number of a legend, Ohtani was set to play in the NPB. In his rookie year, the Nippon Ham Fighters finished last in the Pacific League, but individually, Ohtani wasn't doing badly. He had a batting average of .238, an on-base percentage of .284, and a slugging percentage of .376. Now, at first sight, this doesn't look impressive, but when you put it against Jose Fernandez's stats, you really have to appreciate Ohtani's performance. And did I mention that Jose Fernandez was the 2013 National League Rookie of the Year? So, technically, a 19-year-old Shohei Ohtani was outperforming Major League's best rookie. Fast forward to 2016, when Ohtani really showed that he is the best of both worlds. He batted .322 and hit 22 home runs, while recording 174 strikeouts and a shutout. But not only did he have more strikeouts than anyone in the minor league that same year, he also won the Pacific League MVP and took the Nippon Ham Fighters to the Japan Series, which they won. In 2017, after another successful season, Ohtani felt it was time to make that leap of faith. At just 23 years of age, he was only eligible for a minor league level contract. So despite teams like the Yankees, Twins, Pirates, and Marlins ready to make the move, Ohtani chose the Angels because he felt he could get the most out of playing in LA.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the podium the newest member of the Angels organization, number 17, Shohei Ohtani.
Seeing just what Ohtani was capable of, the Angels planned on using both Ohtani the batter and Ohtani the pitcher. But his 5 years in Japan's premier baseball league didn't have everybody convinced that he was ready for the big leagues. So, on April 1st, 2018, Ohtani made his debut as a pitcher. And boy did he make a fool out of his critics.
Look, he's 23 years old. He has never pitched above the Japanese league. He probably should be starting out in the minor leagues. This scout said he probably should be at A ball right now.
He struck out 6 batters, and 2 days later, he hit his first home run. 3 days after that, he struck out 12 batters, and the A's didn't register a hit in 7 innings. A mild injury slowed his momentum, but he ended his first year in the league as Rookie of the Year with a batting average of .285, an on-base percentage of .361, and 22 home runs. 2019 and 2020 are 2 years that Ohtani would love to bury in the past. His Tommy John surgery in late 2018 meant he wouldn't pitch in the 2019 season. He made his return as a batter in May after his surgery and made history by being the first Japanese player to hit for the cycle a month later. But after 106 games, he needed surgery for his knee, not the sophomore season Ohtani was hoping for. I mean, rock bottom best describes where Ohtani was. Surely it couldn't get worse, right? Right? Thanks to COVID, the start of the season was delayed, but this meant Ohtani would miss fewer games recovering. On July 26th, he pitched again for the first time in over a year against the Oakland Athletics, but it wasn't the return he hoped for. He recorded a loss, an infinite ERA, and allowed 5 runs. Had this unicorn lost its horn? Well, if by horn you metaphorically mean what makes him special, which is his wicked right arm, then yes. He was diagnosed with a flexor strain, which meant he wouldn't pitch after just 2 starts back. But it wasn't just his pitching that dipped. His batting was so poor that I'm sure the Angels front desk considered sending him back to Japan. 24 RBIs and a batting average of 190? Was Ohtani done for? Surely he was at this point, and he kinda knew it. But they call Ohtani Showtime for a reason. And he was about to make a comeback so epic it was gonna thwart what Brady did in Super Bowl 51 or LeBron in the 2016 NBA Finals. Ohtani started eating differently and training with state-of-the-art technology. It was going to take more than a 2-year drought to dull this unicorn's shine. 4 months into the season, Ohtani got his 32nd home run of the season in a game against the Red Sox.
The next 2-2 home. Oh, he's going to get to jog around the bases! He did it again!
And 3 weeks later, he got his 100th strikeout. Before the end of September, he was on 150. It's not ironic that the first 3 letters of his name are an anagram for hot, because Ohtani was on fire in 2021.
And here's the pitch, and he swings and drives the ball deep into right center field. Showtime!
Leading the league that season in several categories and breaking even more records, Ohtani was crowned the American League MVP. 2021 was Ohtani's best season yet, but his strong end to the season suggested that he hadn't reached his peak yet. In 2022, he brought that fierceness he ended 2021 with into the new season. Despite his already menacing presence on the mound, he was getting more lethal with that right arm. He managed to incorporate more pitching styles to his impressive arsenal of moves, including a world-class two-seam fastball. Ending with a personal best of 219 strikeouts and an ERA of 2.33, Ohtani found himself in the top 5 in 4 pitching metrics and top 5 in 7 batting metrics. But it still wasn't enough to keep his MVP crown as it went to Aaron Judge. Ohtani may have missed out on his second American League MVP title, but he was ready to make sure that didn't happen again. He had a strong start to the 2023 campaign, leading the MLB in homers, RBIs, and total bases by June.
The 6th inning. There's a drive. Shohei Ohtani gets the Angels on the board with his 30th home run.
He had his first shutout game against the Detroit Tigers and his second grand slam as well that season. You could say that things were going great for him. Maybe a little too great. Because in an August game against the Cincinnati Reds, he had to come off, and medical reports showed he had a UCL tear which ended his season. Despite this, he still led the league in 5 batting stats and clinched the AL batting title. This was enough for a second unanimous MVP title, something no player had ever done before. The only thing missing was a World Series title, and it was doing him no good not having one. With 2 Silver Sluggers, 4 MVP titles across 2 leagues, a World Baseball Classic, and many more awards, how does Ohtani not have a World Series yet? Well, there's no I in team, or in baseball, and to be honest, the Angels have just been a disappointing team, and it's definitely not Ohtani's fault that they sucked. Ladies and gentlemen, Ohtani is batting and pitching better than the best players of champion teams. If we're being honest, the universe owes him at least 2 rings. So, the problem wasn't how he played, but where he played.
This man has never played in the postseason. They haven't been to the postseason in 8 years.
So, when his contract with the Angels ended, plenty of teams were ready to throw duffels full of cash Ohtani's way. So much so that the Angels knew they couldn't match any offer Ohtani would get, so they had made peace with parting ways with him. His 10-year, $700 million contract was the biggest contract in sports history, and a couple of teams were ready to pay that much. But Ohtani cares about one thing only: winning. And the Dodgers look like the best team for that. He's so fixated on winning that he's been willing to defer over 97% of his salary till after retirement, just so the Dodgers could afford to sign more players, bolster the squad, and increase their chances of winning a World Series. But is Ohtani worth that much? I mean, $700 million is a lot for a player who's never even made the playoffs. When A-Rod signed a then-record contract of $275 million for 10 years, he won the World Series in 2009. When Corey Seager sealed the deal for a 10-year, $325 million contract in 2021, he was part of the team that brought the Rangers their first World Series title. If the money is anything to go by, Ohtani is under more pressure and scrutiny than any player in the MLB. He's constantly compared to Babe Ruth. Heck, he has Ruth sweating in baseball heaven with the records he's touching that no one thought anyone could. But one record he might never touch is Babe Ruth's 7 rings. So, even if Ohtani wins 1 ring, it would be a remarkable feat. No active player in the MLB has more than 2 World Series titles. The last 10 World Series have had 9 different teams win it. The odds aren't looking good for the superstar. But it's not just the statistics that are against Ohtani. His body might be his biggest drawback. Matt Harvey, Trevor Rosenthal, and Michael Fulmer are all right-handed pitchers. They've all suffered injuries which required Tommy Johns, and they've all been worse after making a return. Guess who else is right-handed and has had multiple arm surgeries? Ohtani's 2023 elbow surgery means he won't pitch for the whole of the 2024 season. The Dodgers will only have half of Ohtani playing for them, and he couldn't even take the Angels to the playoffs when he was pitching and batting. The Dodgers have made every playoff for the last decade, but in his first 5 seasons in the league, he's been injured and had to end his season early twice. This type of inconsistency is dreadful for any career. Ohtani will be 30 by the end of his first season with the Dodgers. According to his high school plans, he's 4 years behind winning his first World Series title. So, even though he's on a better team and with only batting to worry about, Ohtani might not make it to the playoffs, much less the World Series. No thanks to his health. He might have to delay his retirement plan to increase his chances of getting that all-important title. This might be the only way Ohtani saves a spot in the GOAT debate. The next few years would be pivotal to Ohtani's legacy. If the Dodgers manage to get the best out of Ohtani and he remains productive, we might finally know how good Ohtani actually is. But do you think he'll ever make it that far? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe for more amazing MLB content. And while you're at it, check out this video right here.